because of the network, we could not log in earlier than this. But I guess Dr. Sosang is already here. Hello, Dr. Sosang. Hello, Dr. Sosang. Yeah, okay, anyway, I think he's here. So I'm sure his network will be better than us. Yeah, hi, Dr. Sosang.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, actually we got delayed because we tried from every network and we weren't able to log in. So somehow through one of my staff's phone, we could log in. So we will start now. Is it okay? Can we start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So welcome to this a series of our webinar that is being organized by STINER. I think if the participants are same, they're already aware about STINER, but for the benefit of those who are joining for the first time in our webinar, I would like to mention that STINER is a project that is funded by the Ministry of Donor, and this is specifically for the whole Northeast. But we are very fortunate that Nagaland got the first project in the Northeast, and so it is based in Sasard, Nagaland University. And the basic concept of this STINER project is to create an entrepreneurial atmosphere in the state. And for that, we try to identify various areas which can give a better option for the people to take up as an entrepreneurial activity. So in the first series, we have already finished quite a good number of series, number of topics which were of interest to people. And today we are here again with a very interesting topic, a mushroom, which is an alternative to meat. And we're very delighted that one of our very own person, he's here, who has started his venture in this mushroom. And today we are going to be enlightened about mushroom cultivation through him. And there are a lot of interest shown by people who have registered. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are interested. Maybe because of the network, they're not able to log in, or because they don't have the accessibility, they don't know how to download Zoom. So many people are there. But I'm sure slowly we'll be able to reach out to various people. So we are very delighted to welcome Dr. Sosang Longkamer, who is actually a social entrepreneur. He's a graduate in microbiology and a PhD degree holder in applied genetics from Bangalore University, and also a PhD degree holder from ICR and a degree from Nagaland University. He had worked with ICR as a research associate from 2015 to 2018, and has attended some of the very important training programs, which was, one of them was in 2011 conducted by CSIR, and also in the year, and I think after this, I think he started his venture in the year 2018, where he started his mushroom production and spawn making. He had also, and then I think he has started his own spawn production laboratory in Dimapur by the name Alone MPCS, a cooperative society, which is based in Dimapur. He has also attended a very intensive training at Solan, Himachal in the year 2018. And I think he has a very noble mission of developing or experimenting for mass production, and also developing some easy method of production to this program. And we look forward to this session, audience from the participants, and I will be interrupting you time and again to get the questions clarified. So I also request the participant, they can put their questions in the chat box, or there'll be a question and answer box, so you can put your questions there. Also, if you want to directly interact with Dr. Sosang, you can raise your hand. We will give you time. So now, all the time is yours, Dr. Sosang.
Good morning, everyone. Today, am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Okay. So, Today we will focus mostly on the practical aspects of shiitake cultivation. But first of all, we will just clear some of the points. So I will do maybe about a 15 minutes slideshow presentation where I will highlight some of the important points needed in cultivating the shiitake mushroom. And also, I will show some of my ongoing projects in collaboration with different government departments and the success stories of the farmers, SHGs, and entrepreneurs in Nagaland. After that, I will follow with a practical demonstration. There, I will teach each and every tips and steps. And at that time, you can clarify. I mean, please feel free to ask any doubt. And after that, we will be open for clarifying all the doubts and all these things. So let me begin with the presentation. So yeah, so this is a shiitake mushroom, and this picture I've taken from the farmer from CTC, Mogutung district. So it was fruited a couple of months back. So the fruiting was really good. This is in chestnut log wood. Now, let's understand what is shiitake mushroom. The scientific name is Lentinula idodes. And shiitake has been cultivated especially in Japan. And the word shiitake is also derived from Japanese word. Shitake, shi means oak, the oak tree, and taki is a mushroom. They call taki as mushroom. So they have so many taki kind of, like maitake, inutake, all these things. Okay, so shitake is one of them. So oak mushroom, we can call it in Nagamese, we can call it as a nagagas mushroom, like that. So these Japanese people, they have been cultivating for more than 1,000 years. And this is one of the top cultivated mushroom in the world. Okay. But in India, button mushroom is still in number one. The awareness and the medicinal value of shiitake, and then the taste, people are coming to know. So it's slowly increasing in production also in India. And people, really love shiitake these days. So apart from that, I was thinking, like, why Nagaland or why Northeast India? Okay, so like when I was attending the training with the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, I thought that we Nagaland or Northeast India is blessed with so many, good climatic condition, good natural resources. Of course, comparatively, we are underdeveloped in many ways, but still, we are blessed with so many, gifts from above, I should say. So, which is not available in many parts of India or anywhere else in the world. So we have to, utilize the resources, the potential to, explore the things. And then, you know, 2 points came to my mind when I attended the mushroom training in Directorate of Mushroom Research, Solan. So they out there they do shiitake cultivation in sodas, which is also called as a synthetic log. The duration is very less out to cultivate in sodas. It just takes 3 months, but the medicinal value, the texture, the flavor, you know, it's you know, you just can't compare that shiitake with the shiitake grown in log. However, for the demand of a market as a table food, it is one of the, you know, most cultivated, you know, mushrooms. So in the world, 95% of the shiitake is cultivated in sawdust block. Though the medicinal value is less, but the demand is very high, you know. So for its taste, so for table use purpose. However, there are so many people who, you know, want that proper medicinal value, and then that typical taste of shiitake. So they want, you know, that oak or log grown shiitake only. So 5% in the world is cultivated in oak or in log. So, but the pharmaceutical companies, they demand all this log grown one only. Okay, so why Nagaland? Or why Northeast India? So the first is a very good climatic condition. Shiitake usually grow best in cold climates. So almost all the northeastern states are having that cold climate. And then the second thing is I planned of encouraging the low growing uh, to cultivate the shiitake in low, because if we see like especially in Nagaland, we have landowner rights, like so we can utilize the forest resources uh, readily. By saying that, we have to be very wise in utilizing the forest resources also. So what I do is, since I'm the only wood dowel seed spawn producer in Nagaland, and also I don't think there is any other wood dowel producer in India also. But maybe there may be, but I'm not sure of that. But of course, there are many laboratory which produce grain shiitake spawn. But for me, I produce wood dowel, which is more, you know, suitable for the low cultivation. So what I make deal with the farmers, entrepreneurs department is that if they cut only the branches of tree, then only I will sell or give the spawn. They don't have to cut down the tree. That is totally, I'm totally against that. So in Naga, of course, in many tribal tradition, especially in Naga tradition, what we do is, and what I learned from my forefather is, if we cut the branches of trees, then many more branches bears or grow out. So that is how, if we just cut one branch of one tree and then utilize that for mushroom cultivation, maybe after a year or two, another branch will grow. Then likewise, later on, we can utilize that for, you know, cultivating the mushroom. So scientifically also, that bollarding technique, especially the forest people, forest departments and all, they are practicing. And in Nagaland also we are practicing, especially in Kohima district, bollarding the altar, and then the saw-tooth oak, and then all these things. So like they cut down at a particular height, and then so many branches will come out like that. I will show in the slide those pictures also. So that way we can, you know, take advantage by utilizing the forest resources, how to generate the income. Okay. So this slide shows the medicinal, this is already scientifically proven, and you know, like about its immune booster and all these things. So this is not my word, but it is a word and proof from the scientific community. However, from my experience, we used to take him every 3 months to Guwahati for routine checkup for diabetes. And every month his medicine value used to come up to 4,500, like that, you know. So he was at that stage. From a layman point of view, I'm just saying the severity of his, you know, that sickness or whatever that is. But after I start my mushroom, especially the oyster mushroom that I grow as a demo, Shitake as well as the oyster, fresh, both fresh and dried one, and all. So after that, now it's been around 5 to 6 months that he you know, that his that level of this has come down, diabetes has come down, and now he is consuming only a medicine of around 300 rupees per month, like that. And he is very fit and, you know, so active. So that is, I mean, proof in front of my eyes that, okay, the mushroom can do wonders to our health. And some of my friends also was telling like that why Japanese people and why they're having better health is because they eat mushrooms. Mushroom is one of the most important, and another is fish, the fresh fish. So those are, you know, that make me believe that, okay, yeah, that may be true, like that. So, and it is true, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to a little technical part of Shitake cultivation. Now we're coming to the main point. Now the story is over. Okay, so what are the temperature requirement and what are the climatic condition exactly required for Shitake? So the Shitake grows well at a temperature from 5 to 30, 29, 30 degrees Celsius. So that's good enough. And a little bit high relative humidity, and they don't require direct light, you know. And uh, it is an outdoor activity. Okay, sometimes people call it as a forest farming also. And in Nagaland, because from my experience I'm speaking, so I'm talking about Nagaland especially. So what are the hotspots in Nagaland? If we ask, then it will be like Kohima, Tuinsang, Mokchong, Peg, Woka. All these are good places, you know, except Mon and Dimapur. That might be a little problem, you know. Though winter is good, it comes down up to 20 degrees Celsius, which is a fruiting temperature for Shitake. But during summer, it goes up to 35 plus. So it's a problem in Dimapur. But now I'm closely working with some department and with some, you know, entrepreneurs on how to input. And though we don't have sufficient supply of electricity, to be honest. Yeah. So those are very expensive things. So without much input, we are trying to make it happen, you know. So hopefully, and for that purpose also, I brought some, you know, variety of shiitake from abroad, of course, legally. And I have made spawn for that. Though I have not released yet to any of the Department of Farmer, I'm doing the trial and hopefully it will be successful. So apart from that, the rest of the strains are from China. I use some strains of Shitake and some strains from Directorate of Mushroom Research and all. So those are working good and they have fruited well in Nagaland. Okay, so what the important part of Shitake cultivation is when to cut the log. So, of course, most of the botany people, agriculture people, and forest people, they are very aware about this. So the best part to cut the log is before the arrival of winter and before the leaf, the new leaf grows in the, like tree, we have to cut during that time. So what I suggest to the farmer is I used to let them start from October to cut the branches, and from October till March, they can cut. And see, so October, November, December, January, February, March. For 6 months or till the mid-March, you can cut. So 5.5 months like that, you can cut the log where scientifically there the nutrients, more nutrients are reserved and conserved during that period in the wood. So those nutrients will be utilized by the fungus, Shitake fungus, to eat up and give you the mushrooms. Of course, like during summer and during the leaf maturity time, or not maturity but development time, those seasons are not good. However, some people they have cut, but the production of the mushroom is quite less. So if you're going to cut the tree, of course, like you would like to cut the tree during the period which will give you more mushroom, because it will affect your economics. Like when you're doing in 500, 1000 logs, if the difference of mushroom fruiting is just by maybe 100 grams also, that makes a huge difference when collectively, you compare it. So this is about the time period where you can cut the logs. And what are the best logs to grow Shitake? So as per Nagaland context, there are few trees which give very good fruiting for Shitake. Of course, Shi means oak, Take means mushroom. So it's an oak mushroom. So oak tree, of course, that is the #1 candidate, no doubt. But in Nagaland, there are about, if I'm not mistaken, there are about 400 plus species of or varieties of oak. However, in Nagaland, we get the most dominant oak variety is sawtooth oak. So you will see all those tree when you go to Kohima. These Britishers during their rule in India, they have planted in the highways and all. So it's I mean almost all the Naga must have seen this tree. I will show it pointing out here to the bottom left. This is the oak tree, and to the upside, this is the oak tree. So the oak tree must be cut at a height of 2.5 to 3 feet long, and the diameter should be from 4 inch to about 8 or 10 inch. Yeah, so that it is not too small, which will bear very less mushroom, not too big that you cannot carry it, you cannot handle it. Okay, because you'll be handling hundreds of logs, so you should not be tired out, by carrying those logs. And of course, you require a little bit manpower also while cultivating. So for that purpose, and another good candidate for the this Shitake is chestnut tree. So I think this is the chestnut seed. It's like a badam. If you crack open the nut, there is a badam kind of thing. So this tree is a softwood, unlike the oak, which is a hardwood. So they bear shiitake quicker than the oak. So usually on an average, 7 to 8 months they bear shiitake mushroom after inoculation in chestnut. However, in oak, as per the literature and as per the practices abroad in Japan or by the expert, they used to say from 12 to 18 months the shiitake after inoculation the shiitake will bear fruit in oak like that. However, in Nagaland, as per my experiment, we have fruited shiitake in oak in 11 to 12 months. So that is, of course, I'm telling as per my experiment and practices. And earlier I was talking about the tree bullarding. So this is altar tree. Altar tree is also really good for shiitake, though they are softwood. So you can cut at a particular height, and then you will let many branches come out. So after a few years, you can use 1 or 2 branches, and then next year subsequently you can keep using like that. So even for the bullarding is possible for other trees also, like oak, or people do that, people practice that. So we can practice that, and then instead of down all the trees, we can wisely method of cultivating. And one advantage is that Nagaland has over the rest of the northeastern state for cultivating shiitake is, of course, that is, our forest is dominated by hardwood forest. Unlike the Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, and all, those are higher altitude than us, and they are dominated by the pine forest. So pine tree is really not good for shiitake actually, because they contain all those resins or oil content, and then they are evergreen trees. So those are not good for growing shiitake. So we have that advantage also. And going to the next slide. Yeah. Now we will discuss about the steps. So rapidly, I will just tell. Of course, these steps I will be demonstrating. So just to know. So first, what we need is the spawn, wood towel. Second is to obtain the log, the tree branch from where we will grow the log, shiitake. So 4 to 8 inches in diameter, and it's about 2.5 to 3 feet in length, and we can cut during October to March. And then we will drill the, as you can see in the picture, you will drill as per the size of the wood towel. You will drill the log and then inoculate it, put it, hammer it inside the log, and then you seal it the log. Okay, and then after that, the rest is up to the fungus. Your job is done after putting the wood towel inside the log. The rest work will be done by the fungus. But of course, you have to keep the log in shade under a tree, or maybe under your basement, or you can make a green net, green shade, and then just keep there. And then you have to stack one over the other so that the space occupation will be less, and you have to keep watering at least once in 15 days, or if possible, if there is no water problem, then maybe once in a week. If you spray water on the log, then they will be hydrated, and then the moisture, like we all know, like naturally the fungus grows, or the mushroom grows in forest after the rain. So like they really love the moisture. Of course, overwatering is not recommended, but a little bit on the surface, you have to spray the water every week. And the fungus will start to eat the log, and it will take about 8 months in softwood like chestnut, alder, and all. And in hardwood, it will take minimum 1 year to completely eat up the log. And once they eat up, in the sense like colonize, okay. So once they colonize on the edge of the log, you will be able to see white patches, So these are the fungus that is, coming out. So that time you will know that, okay, this is the right time that to fruit the shiitake mushroom. So along with this, even the temperature, the climate also should align. So the temperature would be somewhere around 20 degrees Celsius, plus minus 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. With that, plus the mycelium should be observed in the edge of the log. So if it is like that, then you have to initiate the fruiting. Of course, they used to fruit themselves also. When the temperature is right, automatically sometimes the mushroom comes out. But from business perspective and for marketing perspective, you want all your logs to uniformly fruit the mushroom, so that you will have a lot of harvest. Excuse me. So what you have to do is, once you see this kind of white mycelium growing, and if the climate condition is good, it is about 20 degrees Celsius, like that. So that time what you have to do is, you have to hammer the log. Like you have to give him a shock, okay, telling him, okay, you give me the mushroom now, like that. You whack him with the, hammer on the head of the log, and you soak it in cold water for overnight. So that way you are giving a lot of hydrations to the log. And then after that, you have to stack it vertically, line by line. And then you have to start watering every day this time. So within few days, the mushroom will start fruiting, okay? So the best way to harvest the shiitake is to, harvest it when it is, the cap of the mushroom is not yet open. It is about 2.5 to 3.5 inches in diameter, the cap size. So that is most preferred. It will be very tender. It will be, like good looking, especially in market. These days, in marketing, people really look for presentation and the looks of your product. So even though your product is organic and healthy, if it is ugly, then, people doesn't get attracted. They don't choose, they don't prefer. So the best thing is to, like to pluck it when it looks really pretty, so that the customer will be attracted. And if I just 1 second, this is if you're doing a unit of 1,500 logs, okay. So for that, the first year they will not see. If you're doing in softwood, it will bear the fruit in 8 months. If you're doing in hardwood, it will bear the fruit in 1 year. So if you put in 2019, 20 winter, then it will fruit the mushroom in 2021 winter. Though, since it is expensive mushroom, you will earn a lot. So it's like, a big investment kind of thing. So if on a year average, they will fruit about half kilo of mushrooms per log. So if you do log in 1,500 logs, and say that, okay, it fruit in 1,400, some infection happens in 100 logs, like that, you'll get the mushroom about 700 kg, which will, suppose for me, my company, my society to the implementations and trainings, everything, but my company, private limited company, we give marketing to the farmers, and we give guarantee to the farmers to buy back. So suppose if you're fruiting 100 kilo, if you want to sell it to me, we give a particular price from the beginning itself. So we give 500 rupees as of now per kg of mushroom, and then we buy back. So it's a buyback policy. We give to the government, also to the department, to the entrepreneurs, to everyone we give that. So we buy it with 500 rupees. So you will be earning, if you bear from 1500 logs, 700 kg, then in that first year, you will be earning 3,50,000 rupees. And of course, this is theoretical, but in practical, we Naga people, we are very giving, we are big-hearted people. So what we do is 50% of the product we will, not 50% only we will sell. And 50% of the product, 10% will give to the church, 20% will give to the neighbors, to taste, to the family. Otherwise, they will, if we don't give, they will come and take it. So it's better you give to your neighbors also. And then 20% we will eat at home. So 50% like we will consume ourselves, and the rest we will sell. Anyways, that way, yeah, we build the relationship, isn't it? And in second year also it will, in second year, in fact, it will almost fruit the double actually. So here in this chart, I have written a little less, but it will almost fruit the double, second and third year. And after that, in fourth year, from the same log, the one which you put the spawn once, it will fruit. If it is oak, it will fruit at least for minimum 5 years. If it is chestnut, altar, it will fruit only for 3 years. Okay, so your expenditure in spawn for the particular log is same, but the income varies depending on the log. So in 5 years, from that same 1,500 log, you will be earning around 16 lakhs if you sell out all your product completely. So this is just a rough idea. However, if you want to do professionally and if you want to do it as a sustainable, continuous venture, so this year you have put 1,500 logs. Again, second year you put about 1,500 logs. Third year also, from your earning, you reinvest in your business. So it will keep on going. So after 5 years, that 1,500 log which you initially put will bear no more mushrooms. So what you can do is you can use that as a firewood, because in Nagaland we need firewood, and we have been practicing that. So you can use those as you can sell it off, or you can use it at home as a firewood, and then the new batches which you are subsequently adding will keep bearing fruit for you. So that is the short economic explanation. And then what are the Shitake products that you can make? So at present, of course, only under my supervision and with the collaboration of various departments, few farmers and few private firms, I mean entrepreneurs, SHT have done, and they have fruited really well. One is in this Topima, also they have fruited few, Mobung Chiket also, and Noksen also. So all those three districts comes under JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency, implemented by the Forest Department, and me being the principal investigator for the project. They are fruiting now, but we are expecting to fruit in huge amount during this November to February, like that. So they are cultivating in a medium scale. And other entrepreneurs, one lady from Devapitsa Peak district, she has cultivated in 250 logs. She invested 10,000 rupees for the spawn purchase, and then the log was from her own, jungle she do. And then this, right after 1 year, she has fruited more than 100 kg of Shiitake mushroom during the lockdown. However, we were able to bring at least 50 kg of Shiitake mushroom. So I bought from her at the rate of 500 rupees. And I resell that. So honestly speaking, I sold Shitake at a rate of 800 rupees per kg in Dimapur. So I have made the price that in non-producing cities like Dimapur and in Kohima, it will be 800, and in producing side it will be 600 rupees, and our company will pay 500 rupees as a buyback in bulk. So of course, Nagaland is a very difficult logistic area state. So we spend a lot of money in bringing all those mushrooms from the villages, and also, of course, and if you go to Delhi and all, the shiitake grown in log, especially in oak, will cost you about 4,000 rupees per kg. However, the shiitake grown in sawdust block will cost you 1,600 to 2,000 rupees. So which has medicinal value 10 times less than the log shiitake. And also the flavor texture is also, you just can't compare these two. Okay. However, I have tested both the mushroom, both are very delicious for me. I really like it. Now in the screen, you can just see some of the mushrooms they are using even in cosmetics also. And you can slice it, and then you can blanch it, and then you can freeze dry it as a frozen fresh frozen shiitake. You can can it like a button mushroom also, people are canning, or you can dry it. So if you dry the shiitake mushroom in sun, it becomes a vitamin D bomb. Like there's a literature proof for that. You can browse it and you'll find it. And of course, this is shiitake log, ready to fruit. So you put the spawn, let the fungus eat up all the wood, run, and when it is about to fruit, people sell shiitake log. This is from Japan. One of my friend, he has sent me this picture. So in Indian rupees, this is some 1,000 something rupees per log. So you just have to buy this, take it to your house, hammer it, put it in cold water, and then it will bear fruit. So this 1 feet 12-inch shiitake log is found in India. You buy India website. So see, this will hardly bear around 2 kg in 5 years. But see the cost. Cost is about 3,000 rupees. So the shiitake grown in log has a lot of significance, and people really know its value. So they are ready to pay for it. See, this is the shiitake. To my there are two pictures. The right one is grown in sawdust block. Of course, I'm doing experiment. Of course, this shiitake in block is doing really well in DMR Solan, and people are doing in Solan. In Tamil Nadu also, the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, they tied up with the JICA project, Japanese International Cooperation Agency, and they are going to do production in industrial scale in sawdust block. And even in this government of Meghalaya, they have sanctioned 50 crore for mushroom mission. And this is one of the, they are also trying to produce the shiitake in sawdust block. So of course, to meet the demand, to meet the high demand, they are doing all these things. However, the medicinal value and the quality is uncomparable to the log one. So for me, and what I encourage to the farmer is, we will do this log one in Nagaland, so that we will be the only, or though we are not the only, but we will be the major producer of log grown shiitake. And Nagaland and Manipur, Naga inhabited districts of Manipur also, they are practicing this. And these are some of the good places where we, Nagaland and Naga inhabited area of Manipur districts, we have a great potential to do this, and we will be branded as the organic shiitake grower in India, like that. So that is my dream. So within few years, I will be achieving that, if God's will. And if God is with me, I will definitely do that, and with your support, of course. So what I do is I buy back the mushrooms, and if the farmers wants to trade directly by themselves, I will link them with different companies to regularly supply to them also. So different parts are like Delhi, Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, one doctor, he wants log shiitake, 30 kg of log shiitake on daily basis for his diabetic patients. So there are people who are ready to pay. That is just one doctor. So there are many supermarket companies, pharmaceutical companies, and even these, there are a lot of buyers who wants. So so that is about the cultivation of shiitake, and this is just some of my work done so far with different departments such as forest department, department of horticulture, and this Nagaland State Rural Livelihood Mission. So we have been, for past 9 to 10 months, we did all this activity. So for drilling purpose, you can see myself with one gentleman. We are drilling the log. So like this, we can easily make the stand, like this. I hope you are able to see my, I'm pointing out, see this one. Yeah, so we can make a stand out of wood like this. So it is very convenient to work. And you can see even this old lady, she is the age of my mother. So even the lady, this is in Topima village, our honorable CM village. She is very energetic, and even the lady, they are eagerly doing, so I was really impressed, and I was, blessed to see how they are doing the work. And after that, this is in peg, and yeah, after putting the spawn, you have to stack them like north, north to south, east to west pattern. One up, like one will be in north to south, and then the other will be in east to west, like the pattern, one after the other, and you can stack up like this. So these are the activities of SHGs under Department of Forest, and you can either keep it in your basement. So if you keep it in basement, the condition of the logs remains very good. I mean, the dirt and all these things from natural things are removed. So the condition of the log remain good, and it lasts for longer years. However, you should have the space, and it is little laborious because you have to keep watering the logs more than the other, which is kept outside, because they won't get any, suppose during the rainy season, automatically they get wet, which is good for the log. However, if it is under the house, you have to, however, if you want to trade the log, see, there are many company and customer who are ready to buy the spawn, ready to fruit shiitake log. So I request the farmer to do in this manner, so that, like the log will look clean and it will be good, so that I will buy back the log from them, and then I will sell it to the company, or the farmer or the organization, SHGs, they can sell directly to the company, like that. And time to time, you have to clean the log also during the incubation period. So incubation period means the period after putting the spawn, the shiitake fungus will eat up the log. So that is called the incubation period. So it is about 10 to 1 year. So that time, at least 1 or 2 times, you just have to, using the plastic brush, clean off watering and clean off the log surface, so that it will be clean, and even the external fungus or whatever contamination is there, it will be removed, the competitors. So after keeping for about 10 to in softwood about 8 to 9 months, and in hardwood 10 to 11 months, you will be able to see white like this. And then the fungus, this shows that the shiitake fungus is, the log is mature. And if you keep for little more days, then it will turn into a chocolate brown. As you can see, this chocolate brown color of shiitake. Yeah. So that means they are getting matured and they are ready to fruit. So this time you will hammer the log and put it in water soaking for overnight. After that, from the next day, you stack it vertically and start spraying water and they will fruit mushrooms. Like this, you have to overnight soak the log. And you can see the mushroom is coming out from the part of the wood, they're cracking like a popcorn. So, and then slowly after 2-3 days, it will become like this, and it will become like this, and it will, within 7 to 10 days, they will be ready to harvest. So, as I said, in international market and in supermarket or in metro cities, they will prefer 2.5 to 3.5 or up to 4 inches of cap. The cap should not be open like this. It should be closed. Okay. And one advantage is if the cap is closed, the shelf life is more. So comparatively with oyster mushroom, most of us are aware with the oyster, the shelf life is about 2 to 3 days. Whereas in shiitake, it is about 5 to 7 days. So it's like that. So what we do is we use in a carton box or in basket, we put banana leaves and over that we put the mushroom and cover it with banana leaves. So the transportation is for 2 days also, it remains fresh as it is harvested, and if we keep in the fridge, then again the duration goes very long. Because last year when I went to Singapore and Malaysia, I purchased, of course, there is a supermarket in Little India in Singapore. There I purchased 5 kg of shiitake mushroom. But that shiitake was grown in sawdust block because from China they import. So in China mostly they do that. And I brought that to Kolkata one day, from Kolkata to Dimapur one day. After that I tissue cultured those mushrooms, which was successfully I did. And after that I waited for another 2 days to grow the mycelium. And once the result was good, then only I cooked the mushroom and I had that mushroom. So it was about 6-7 days. Yeah. But till then, the condition was really good. So I have collected some mushrooms like during my buyback policy. From Mokokchung also I bought, from Pet district also I bought. So after the harvest, the next day they used to send through public transport. And after getting it, like I keep it for another 1 or 2 days, to check the whether it spoils or not, like that. So, but it still remains good. So the shelf life is comparatively good among the mushrooms. Yeah, the shiitake mushrooms. Yeah. But if the shiitake mushroom is very mature, if the leaf is open, then the shelf life goes down. However, the big grown mushroom is good for the local market because it's very thick. It's about 1.5 inch thick, and it's like as if you're eating that like a meat, like I just can't explain. It's very tasty, I should say, and the flavor is really good. And as you can see in this picture, this is the best time to harvest. And it looks really pretty, and you can see the trademark of shiitake, the white spots circle around the cap. These are some of the self-help group who successfully fruited shiitake in 6 months. So there are about 20 groups who fruited shiitake successfully in 6 months under me. So there is a particular method. In Japan, they have claimed that they have successfully come up with a variety of shiitake which grows in 6 months. However, for me, I have developed a method which there are 4 to 5 factors that you have to really make sure so that it will fruit in 6 months, like that. Apart from that normal timing, early fruiting technique. So of course, this technique I have not yet patented, nor I have not published any paper. I'm writing the paper now. So once I publish that paper, I will of course, it will be disclosed, definitely. So, of course, the knowledge is for everyone. That's how I believe. So, they have fruited successfully. These are under Nagaland State Rural Livelihood Mission. This is Shitake fruited in Tavapitsa Pek district. They have fruited about 100 kg, more than 100 kg. It is still fruiting, but due to lockdown, we cannot bring more. We could just bring 50 kg only. And it was sold like a hot cake. Within half an hour, the 50 kg was over. And now I have more than 100 kg booked for the next consignment, but I am unable to, deliver to the clients because of this. That is within Dimapur only. And out of state, yesterday also one guy, he wanted 50 kg of dried shiitake. So I said, you wait till the winter, then I will provide like that. See, these are shiitake. This one is in Clark Theological College, Aulichan. There, you must be knowing a place called Longkam Village. It is a very historical place for our tribe in Nagaland. There, naturally, shiitake grows, wild shiitake, and it's a very appropriate place for growing shiitake. So, yeah. So these are the shiitakes fruited by my farmers. And this is me, as you can see it in the picture. See, this is me. I'm holding a shiitake, and then these are the shiitake that I bought it back. So, shiitake in log is also practiced in Nepal and in Bhutan also. So, when my sister, she went to Nepal, they were selling shiitake. I told her to buy. So, the size of our palm, one shiitake mushroom, and then the smaller two and small one, like that. 4 pieces of shiitake cost 400 Indian rupees, which means when I bought this mushroom, and if I weigh, then there are 20 pieces of, the medium size 20 pieces goes in 1 kg, which means 800 rupees out here is much cheaper as compared to Bhutan or Nepal, So I think since we are more richer country than those countries, we should sell it at a higher price. So in metro, of course, they may buy by 800 rupees from Nagaland, but they will definitely going to sell it by 2,000 or 3,000 rupees per kg. That is for sure. Of course, they will meet their expenses in logistic and, grading the shiitake. All this come into factor. Yeah. So that is it. I will show you one video of my farmer growing fruiting shiitake. So,
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is in Aulichan in Mogokchung district. Last month it was fruited in Chestnut Tree. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, you can view it, right?
Actually,
Okay, so this is the video. All right. So, hello, am I audible?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, you're audible.
Now, discussion on shiitake is done. So we will start the demonstration of the cultivations of shiitake. Okay.
Hello, sir. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we have some questions from the participants. So like maybe before going to the demonstration, would you like to take the questions or we'll keep it for after the demonstration?
No, I can take now. I
Okay,
think
okay.
better to clear
Okay,
that.
so there is one question from Amor Dubura. So the question is,
Hello.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, the question from Amar Bora is, what are the nutritional and medicinal value of shiitake mushroom?
Yeah. That is already shown in the slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have one more. This is from Supong. Drilling gap in between the holes.
Yeah.
I'm not able to.
That should be about 3 inches, but since you can't keep measuring with scale, as a thumb rule, we use 4 fingers.
Okay.
I will show you that. I will show you. Here is already the log. I hope they are watching.
Okay, sir. Then we have one more question. That is, after how many years? Hello, sir.
After how many years?
After how many years to replenish the spawn?
No. Once you put the spawn in one log, it will last for, if it is hardwood, 5 years. It will keep fruiting, and then the log will be done. So you can use the log as a firewood, and then that's it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, we have one more question. Can we use a random log other than what you have mentioned?
Yeah, definitely you can go for other hardwood also, but from my practical point of view and from the expert around the world, these are some of the suggested log, but you will be able to see in the internet some other logs are also mentioned, but in Nagaland context and in India, Northeast India, these are some of the fine best log that we have experimented and came up with a good result. So you can see even in the video, one one log is bearing so much mushrooms, you know. And I think you guys must have seen even our honorable Meghalaya honorable Chief Minister Konat Sangma. He in Twitter came out with a photo in one log, only 2 shiitake mushroom growing like that, you know. But here we are growing 50 to 60 shiitake in one log, you know. So of course they are also doing great job, and Sir is really a dynamic person in identifying the potential of the Northeast. So he is, you know, driving the youngsters. So yeah. So these are some of the law that we came up. It's not we came up. It's we have experimented and we find it really good. So otherwise, you can from scientific point of view, why oak is oak and the other, especially the white oak families, no, because they are really difficult to decompose, and slowly they keep feeding the fungus, you know, in the log, so they last longer. So you have to look for the log which will last longer. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. One wants to know what will be the initial investment?
Initial investment, see, it depends on how much you want to earn. Okay. You can start from 5 log also. See, 1 packet of spawn will cost you per stick. I sell it by 2 rupees. So in one log, in one 3-feet log and medium size, with about 6 inches in diameter, they will need about 50 wood towels, which means you will have to invest 100 rupees in that, isn't it? So for 5 log, you have to invest 500 rupees, plus you have to purchase the putty for sealing about 20-30 rupees. That's it. But that will fruit you about 3 kgs of shiitake in the initial. So that you can earn around 2,500 rupees. So it depends. But what I recommend to the farmer is, if you want to start in a small scale, for me, a small scale in Nagaland is about 100 to 300 logs, and or up to 500 logs. Medium scale is 1,000 to 1,500 logs, which will give you a good income, as I've shown you. in the slide. Nah? In 5 years, you will earn about 16 lakhs. And if you want to go bigger than that, then that is a big scale.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we have a very good question. How do one protect mushroom from pest attack?
See, especially in oyster, it's very tricky. Whereas in shiitake, there are like these snails and all, they come. So every morning you will be watering the logs and all, right? So that time, and moreover, you keep it above the soil by putting rocks and all, or a brick, and then you make it stand like that. So usually there are very few or almost none cases where they completely destroy the shiitake mushroom. That doesn't really happen like how it is in oyster mushrooms.
Yes, and one more question. What is the market size in Nagaland and how much have been attained with all types of mushroom?
See, I will tell you about the market size of two mushrooms. One is shiitake mushroom and the other is oyster mushroom. So first, let's talk about oyster mushroom. Oyster mushroom, I give A to Z guidance to the entrepreneurs if only they want to do in commercial scale. Not for home scale. Home scale, I don't encourage for your own consumption. But if you want to reach till market, then I will give you free training, free guidance, not free buyback. I'll buy back, okay, at a particular price. So what I have done during this lockdown is almost every day I used to buy back about 50 to 100 kg of fresh mushroom, oyster mushroom from the farmers. And I, give it to the vendors at a wholesale rate. So every day, the demand used to be short. So I analyzed, and up from Telaike till Jumukitima, the mushroom demand is about 200 kg per day. So you can calculate that into 30 days, 200 into 30, 6,000 kg per month. And then at present, they are selling by 200 rupees. And during the season, it will come down up to 120 rupees per kg, like that. So yeah, that's a good market. And even in Kohima, it is almost the same. Mouchong will be about 50% less than that. Yeah. So in Nagaland, every day capacity of mushroom consumption is about 700 to 800 kg per day. Whereas all those mushrooms are coming maximum up to 60 to 70% of the mushrooms are coming, oyster mushrooms are coming from Assam. And this in Assam, the farmers, they can't sell even 10 kgs. Suppose I am a farmer, Assamese farmer, I produce 100 kg a day. If Dimapur is locked down, Nagaland is locked down, then they cannot sell even 10 kg in Assam. So we are the consumer. They are doing all this, just for us only. So if we do for ourselves, then how good it will be. So I encourage the youngsters, the farmers, during the harvest, petty harvest, especially in Dimapur district, Kohima district, and in Tuli area, where paddy are, or chunky area, where paddy are cultivated in large scale, to, keep the paddy, for cultivating throughout the year, so that there are a lot of income in these mushrooms. Yeah, and investment is little less. You can start a big, large scale this oyster cultivation by 35 to 40,000 rupees. Yeah, and you will be able to produce at least 50 kg after 1 month, daily. You will be able to produce 50 kg of oyster mushroom. That is one. Shitake. When it comes to shiitake, at present, the production has been less because it has not been even 1 year now. So, but so far, whoever has fruited shiitake has sold out completely at that prescribed rate, which I have told, that is 600 and 800 rupees. 600 in producing area, and in cities 800 rupees, like that. It has been sold out, and the demand is also very high. We are unable to meet it. That's why we are not entertaining the outsider as of now. But from November, December, the fruiting will be in large scale. So we will be supplying outside also. And even the log, we will be able to supply this kind of log. See, in 3 feet log, 3 feet log, the wood cost will be about 100 rupees. The spawn cost will be 100 rupees. Your labor charge is 50 rupees. So 250 is your investment, and you just have to keep it. And after keeping for about 1 year, if I offer you, the farmers, to buy back the log with 500 rupees or 600 rupees, then definitely they will be happy to sell it, because I won't buy just 1-2 logs. I will buy a few hundred, 200-300 logs. So I will bring it, I will check the quality, I will cut it into small pieces. I will do the packing, and with the permission of the forest department and the Department of Agriculture, it will be soon categorized in non-temper forest egg rule. After that, definitely we can do the trading, or the farmer can do that directly. Of course, I will guide them. Yeah.
Okay, so I think so many questions are coming in, but I think we will keep it for the interaction part at the last, and then we can start with the demonstration.
Okay. So how many minutes has gone so far? I think I still have time.
Yes, sir. So we can start with the demonstration part, and then after that we can have an interaction with the attendees.
Okay. So I have brought oak from Kohima district especially for this training. Actually, it's difficult to get because in Dimapur, in lowland area, we don't get oak. We get it at a little higher altitude only. So am I audible? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So these are the logs. Actually, I make this short one so that we can make a ready-made product for supply. However, it is always better to do at a full length. It is about 3 feet, and the diameter is about 4 inches. There are some bigger logs out here. Bigger logs, but it should not be so big that you are unable to pick it up, because you will be doing in hundreds of logs. Of course, there will be many people, but you should not be stressed out with your muscle power. Okay. So first thing what we have to do is we have to clean after cutting the best period to put the spawn. So these are the Shitake wood towels. I will open and show. The best part is after cutting, maybe after a day or two, till 60 days, you can put the spawn into the log. That is the best period. Because why? Because that time the external fungus has not attacked the log, so there is no competitor and all that. And that time when we introduce the fungus of our own interest, then they will colonize better. So that is the purpose. Of course, in Japan, I've seen some people inoculating the spawn in 1 year old logs also. But that it's a 50-50 chances, because already fungus are residing in the log or microbes are residing in the log, so they may compete with the fungus of our interest, and that may not yield as per our expected business model or as per our yield. So the best way is to follow the thumb rule of, like from after cutting from 2 days to 60 days, you can put the spawn. Is there, here we don't have a current, but to use the drilling machine, but luckily I have already drilled some of the logs, so I will just demonstrate there. Okay, is it okay? Okay, first you have to get a brush like this, and then you have to cleanse the surface. If there is any dirt, anything, you just have to clean off the log. After that, in a clean container, make sure your hand is clean. You can use hand sanitizer not to contaminate the fungus. Of course, it's better to work as clean as possible. You can wash your hand with soap, Dettol, and then you can carry on. So one person, he will keep drilling the holes. One more person, he will put the spawn and seal it. Like that, 2 persons can work together properly. So just to show you guys, I've just taken out the spawn. See, you can see the white mycelium. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this is a matured spawn. See, this is a brown color, na? Brown color, you can see, chocolate brown color, which is a matured spawn. Even if it is white or brown, it doesn't matter. But this is a typical character of shiitake among the mushrooms, that after white mycelium colonization, they turn it in, after that, they will turn it into chocolate brown, which means it is a good spawn. So this is a 8 mm square wood towel and about 1 inch in length. Okay. Yeah, 1 inch in length. So you have to drill your log. You have to drill your log using the wood drilling bit, okay, of good quality, because you will be drilling at least 40 to 50 drill in one log multiplied by 100 log. So see, so many drill you have to do. So the bit which drills both log and iron, so that you can use, that is the best quality. And in about 1 inch you put a nail polish mark, so that when you drill it, when it goes till that point, you will know that it is sufficient, you know, so that you can just take the nail polish and then put a mark. Yeah. After that, you can drill it, and the drilling pattern should be see 3 inch. So you just keep like this, drill it, drill it, drill it like this, and then the next line should also be about 3 inches, and then it should be in a alternating. So suppose if it is 2 here, then the from next line you should start from here. So it forms like a diamond pattern, diamond shape. So the colonization and the coverage by the fungus will happen faster. Unlike other mushroom cultivation, you don't require sterilization of log. That is one advantage. So you can do the activity outdoor. That is good. But just while handling the spawn, you better make sure that your hand is a little clean with some hand sanitizer or soap or whatever. So otherwise, there is no problem. The rate of contamination is very less, and unlike the oyster mushroom cultivation or mushroom cultivation in sawdust slope, you have to autoclave it. There's no step such involved in this method. So that is one of the advantage. So you will need a hammer, the spawn, and since there is no electricity now, I'm unable to use the drilling, but I've already drilled some, okay? And by the way, if you are going to buy a drilling machine, it's better to buy Makita. It's a Japanese company, and it is very good. I have been using this, and I recommend this to the farmer. This has very good, they are giving very good service and durability. So you put this spawn, and by using the hammer, hammer it a little bit. Turn around, and again put. So you have to fill up all the holes. So it is better to do by 2 people. One will be drilling and the other person will be spawning and sealing. So, especially in Europe, Japan, and America, they use honeycomb wax to cover it. But for us, honeycomb wax is very expensive. So what we did was we are using window glass putty. In a window frame, we put one putty. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So you have to make round. I think most of the Naga people knows. Kitis laga kuti, like kind of, like a marble, small. Make it a round so that you keep it ready to sealing. Okay. So after sealing this, it will take about 1 week to dry. So after drying, you can start watering the logs. So until then, there are enough moisture in the log, so no need to spray water. Even for months, there's no need to water. So, but after that, after 1 or month like that, you should start watering at least once a week, just to give moisture or to hydrate logs, because fungus grow well in moisture, isn't it? So you have to seal it. Or you can remove the glove. We are doing this because so that if it rains, the water will not go and soak. And if there's too much moisture, the fungus will not grow, or through air, the other microbes will not go and compete with our interest of shiitake fungus at the initial stage of colonizing the mushroom. The log. So I have sealed off completely. Likewise, you have to inoculate the spawn and seal all the lobes. And after inoculating, you have to stack the logs. So you don't have to put the logs on the soil. You put some stone or bricks, 4 bricks, and above that we have to keep the logs. So it will be do like this. Like this, like this. And you can pile it up to 3 feet above, up to 3 feet, there's no problem. So the advantage of keeping the log like this is the air movement is there, okay? And when you water it also, all the logs will be wet properly. And while cleaning, while maintaining the log, if there is any external fungus or whatever, you can just brush off. You can put your hands easily or from inside to like that. So the advantage of setting the log like this is for that purpose. Okay, so that's it about the demonstration, how to put the spawn and all. So I hope you have followed the steps. So now, if there is any doubt, you can ask in related to this cultivation method. Yeah, please. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Now demonstration is done.
Okay.
So you can ask questions.
Okay, sir. I think we have so many questions, so I think I'll start one by one. So just one question: which quality of log will be better, raw log or dry log?
No. The log has to be fresh. You have to cut the branches, and after 2 days to 60 days, when the log is still fresh, you have to put. Why? Because if the log is dry, in that case, you have to rehydrate the log by soaking in water. And another thing is, earlier the microbes must have already entered inside the log, so that will be a big competition for the shiitake fungus. So you are taking 50-50 chances of. So no need to take chances. It's always better to go with fresh.
Okay, sir. So there's one question: what is the popular tree species of growing shiitake mushroom? What is the size and depth of the drilled hole growing environment in the growing environment?
Yeah. So as I have said, this Carcass family, white oak, not the red oak one, but the white oak family, and chestnut family. There are different types of chestnut even in Nagaland. So those, and then this alder tree, and these are the three best candidate in Nagaland and around the districts of Manipur, Naga inhabited area. And other hardwood also, yeah, definitely you can use. But these are the three best. And the drilling is 1 inch depth, 10 mm circular round hole. And then the capping should be at a 3 inch in each direction. And it should be at a diamond pattern. Yeah. And then the best climatic condition is like in reality, if I say it will be at Mokokchung range, Kohima, Zipza and above. Fake district is excellent. Zenebuto, Woka, Twinsang, you know, and there is one thumb rule that where there is oak tree, nature, this chestnut and oak tree are growing well in the forest, those area will definitely fruit shiitake well, because of that law only in nature. Suppose before the human even cultivated or domesticated shiitake, the shiitake tree must this shi, which means oak species, they must be thriving at a particular climatic conditions or at a particular altitude only. So when the tree falls, or you know, that time the fungus, natural fungus, shiitake fungus grow from there, and then the mushroom was fruited, right? So we are just you know, we are just a follower of nature. You know, we're just imitating what the nature is doing. You know, so just by putting all those basic logics, and you know, we can make out which would be the best area. Yeah. So as for me, like those area where naturally chestnut, oak, alder are growing suitably in those climate conditions, shiitake will definitely grow well. Yes.
Another question: how many spawns per log, and where can they get the spawn?
See, per log 40 depends. Okay, the size is from 4 inch to 8 inch in diameter. So it depends, like from 40 to 50, 60, like that pieces of wood towel you have to put. Yeah. And then where to get the spawn? You will get the spawn from my, you know, laboratory. As far as I know, in India, I'm the only one who produces wood towels, oak, made of hardwood wood towel. Why? Because there are many companies, they are producing grains shiitake spawn. Those are good for sodas, you know, that block cultivation. But for this oak, this low cultivation, we are not sterilizing the low, we're directly putting. So if you put the grain, and if we are keeping outside, so the insects or whatever may come and eat up all those things, or you know, other microbes may also, since those grains are very nutritious, they may invite other organisms also. Whereas in wood towel is also wood only. So first what we do is in laboratory, we let the fungus acclimatize with the wood textures and chemical compositions or whatever it is. And then after that, once we put, they feel like a home. You know, suppose if you're going for a India-Pakistan war, suppose if we are going to go, since being a civilian, I will not directly go. I will have to go at least 1 month training for shooting, you know. After that, once I'm trained only, they will send me to war. So likewise, you know, yeah.
Yes, sir. One more. Can you please explain about the viability of spawn under room temperature, as well during transporting them to different parts of the country?
Yeah. See, usually spawn transportation is one of the problem that everyone is facing all over the world. So they are using cold chain transportation, whereas cold chain transportation in a place like India, we cannot afford. Even though we afford, it becomes very expensive. So what, till last year, you know, when I send spawn to the different district, it take about 1 day, 2 days like that. So out of 100 packet, 2 to 5 packet will get spoiled, contaminated. So this year I come up with a new technique of developing the spawn, where the spawn, after developing, I kept the spawn. I kept the spawn back in room temperature. That is, room temperature means Dimapur room temperature is always 30 degree or above. I kept it for 3 weeks and it is not contaminated. So that is my trade secret. But if I transport in ordinary thing also, it will not get spoiled. And I sell the spawn with 100% replacement warranty to my client. Yeah.
How much mushroom will we get from a 3-feet log in the first harvest as well as in entire period?
Okay, it depends on the biological mass content of the log. So we call it a biological efficiency. So suppose, for example, in oyster mushroom, if you are cultivating that mushroom cylinder, if the dry weight of the petty straw is 1 kg, then usually you get 700 grams of oyster mushroom, which is 70% biological efficiency. Here in Shitake, if the dry weight of the log is 10 kg, then you will get 8 to 10 kg of the Shiitake mushroom in the five years. Yeah. So the biological efficiency is real high. Yeah.
Yes. So we have a quick question from the participants. Can we use candle wax instead of this putty?
Yeah, definitely you can use candle wax, but candle wax is little expensive comparatively with putty. Because candle you have to melt it, and in jungle you have to keep, or in somewhere you have to, because you will be putting in hundreds of logs, so it will take at least few hours. So candle will again melt, and then again it will solidify like the no. Of course, if you're using candle, where there are some villages where you don't get this window glass putty, they are using candle. I have suggested them, and it's doing good. You use some pen brush, small one, 1 inch or ½ inch, put it in the wax and just put it at the cover like this. With the brush, you just put it, it will be sealed. Yeah, so that is also one good alternative. Yes.
One more question. Will promotion of Shiitake mushroom lead to destruction of forest? How can we make it sustainable?
Yeah, so see, that's why I tell the farmers and the department that we will use only branches, because in tree there are hardwood and sapwood in the trunk of the tree, and usually the fungus reside in sapwood. So in branches they are mostly sapwood. So I tell the farmers, if they cut only the branches, I will give you the spawn. Otherwise, I don't give the spawn. So like, and we have Naga traditional practice that by cutting the branches, we allow to regenerate the tree. So in fact, this venture was gladly accepted by the Department of Forest, government of Nagaland. Why? Because by doing so, and by implementing those traditional practices of cutting the branches to regenerate the trees, we are regenerating the forest and we are regenerating the natural resources. Yes. So definitely it will not hamper. We just have to educate and utilize the resources wisely, because it is for us only. Because if we cut down the tree, then tomorrow we won't be able to cultivate again. So if we use only the branches, tomorrow more branches will come out, which we will be using in the next cultivation period. So we have to be wise enough. And that is the advantage among in our country. Why we are able to, why we have the potential to go for organic shiitake cultivation in mass production in India. The only possibilities is from Nagaland and Naga inhabited area of Manipur. Why? Because of that reason. So we have to be wise. Now those all early man days are gone. You know, why? Those days are gone. We have to be wise enough if we want to develop, you know. So if we use wisely, we will be the only producer in India at a commercial scale. The organic shiitake state, it will be called as organic shiitake state. So we have to be wise, yeah.
After hammering the log, how do we soak hundreds of log overnight? Because we might need a larger space of soaking. And what is the water temperature requirement for soaking the log?
Yeah. So when it is about to fruit, there are two factors. One is the fungus has to be matured. You will see it at the edge of the log. And then the other is the temperature has to be 20 plus minus 2-3 degrees Celsius. So if it is 20 degree somewhere, even the water will be cold enough, isn't it, naturally? So you can use few drums, that plastic 250 liter drum, around 5-6, there about 5 logs will go. So 25 logs you can soak today. Tomorrow again you can soak 25, like that, batch wise. Or if you have a fishery, you can throw that log in the fishery. And then after that, tomorrow you can take it out, like that you can do. Or you can make a pond kind of, you know. And in abroad where they are doing in large scale, if the river is nearby, they just stack them up near the river so that it will be fully wet, and then they take it out like that. But the best thing is to go with the drum, you know, because today, like if you have around 5 to 10 drum, you can go in 50 pages for 10 days, you know, like that.
Yes, one question. How to know whether the logs have been contaminated by other microorganisms during the shiitake incubation period and during the shiitake fruiting?
Yes, see. Sometimes after inoculating the spawn, you will see green mold. Everyone must have seen that green mold line. If we keep the bread for 4 or 5 days, that green color comes out. So usually this green mold, they may attack. So on the surface, on the side of the log, green color may come. That is hardly 1 or 2% only, as per my experience. But that one you just have to brush off, wash it properly and keep. There's no problem. Sometimes near the spawn it may happen, but you just have to brush off or clean off, wash it and keep it like that. So that's why the log management comes into play. Yeah. The percentage is very low. Yeah.
Okay. So is there any toxicity with shiitake?
So far, I have not come across about that. Of course, like there are some mushrooms, high value mushrooms such as lion's mane, maitake. Maitake is 16,000 rupees per kg and is one of the tastiest and it's good, very good for your heart problems and all that. But sometimes they used to recommend to consult a doctor before eating that this one, maitake and all. But for shiitake, I have never come across any article or research paper where, you know, the toxicity and all these cases are recorded.
So someone wants to know which part of shiitake is used for tissue culture?
Okay, tissue culture part is another different thing. Okay, anyway, you just have to split open like how you do in the oyster mushroom, you know, the junction where the cap and the stalk are there. There's those cottony kind of fleshy tissues are there. You can use that. And if needed, of course, I will guide you. I will guide you, you know. Now, even in Mumbai, there are a friend of mine who wants to start up a laboratory and all these things. So I'm helping. So, you know, for me, helping each other and then to grow in this mushroom business, I'm always welcome. And even now also, the government of Nagaland has already, you know, approved for my society to monitor 6 district spawn laboratory in Nagaland. So I will be guiding that in the coming months. So, you know, I'm ready to help. See, if I am the only spawn producer in Nagaland, I will earn money. But that is not my goal, you know. My goal is to let everyone have a good quality of laboratory. That's why this requested the government to revive the existing department laboratories so that they can be strengthened, and then in every district the spawn will be available anytime, you know. Yeah, so even if the educated people, biotechnology people or agri people who wants to start up spawn lab, I'm ready to help. And now there are some of my friends, I've told them to, you know, start up the spawn lab. I will give the mother spawn. From mother spawn, they can make the cultivator at the initial stage, and later on they can cultivate your or clone their own culture, and then, you know, do that. So for that purpose, I am, since these instruments and all are very expensive. So what I'm doing is now I'm doing an experiment of ordering the HEPA filter, blower, motor, and all, and I'm trying to construct the laminar airflow by myself, and then, you know, instead of autoclave, we are using large pressure cooker, so that in Nagaland, light problem is always there. So to get rid of that, you know, by using the commercial burner, gas cylinder, and all this, you know, so it's not that difficult to have a startup, you know. But the thing is to have a quality spawn and to sustain and keep on maintaining that, it's a big challenge, I should say. Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, there's
please.
one question. Is there any chances that wild mushroom will grow with it? And if it happens, how will we identify it?
Okay, see, when you grow shiitake, suppose that is called contamination. If any other mushroom grows, then that is contamination. So, and you will definitely will be able to differentiate between the shiitake and other wild mushroom. Wild mushroom usually grown in shiitake inoculated lobes are those small mushroom, I think, which we get in market also. What we Naga people usually make chutney out of it now after drying. So small mushroom will be growing only on the surface. So either you can brush it off, or you can pluck it and have it. Later on, the shiitake will come out. And their differentiation is easy to do with other mushroom and shiitake mushroom, yes. So there is no problem in that, yeah.
Yes, sir. One question. Is the total production same for both oak, chestnut, and elder log?
No. See, chestnut and alder, it's like, suppose if you're a boxer, it's like in first round, you're giving all your strength, you know, and you finish your strength like that. So softwood are like that. Softwood within 1-2 years, they will fruit so much, again, they will finish off. But in hardwood, the fruiting consistency is almost the same. I mean, in that particular time, but the hardwood will fruit more years. So ultimately, see, the number of mushroom depends on the density of the wood mass. So the harder the wood, the more density of the wood. No, harder the wood, more density. So more mushroom will be fruited. But the duration fruiting will be more. Like it will fruit for 5 years. So the total fruiting in 5 years will be more than the total fruiting of in 3 years for softwood. Yeah, so oak will give you more and better quality, and of course, expert for exporting and all, and expert people, they demand particular wood kind of, you know, mushroom. Like if they want shiitake also, they said we want shiitake grown in oak, like that. So those are highly priced, and some people they are okay with any other low grown shiitake. Yeah.
No question. Can you please tell us more about post-harvest handling?
Post-harvest handling. So see, after the stages of harvest is also very important. Like at what stage you are going to pluck. So as I told you, at 3 to 4 inches, when the cap is already closed, that time if you harvest, the shelf life will be more. When you are harvesting when the cap is fully open, then again it will be shelf life will be less. But what we do here is we don't have cold carrier van, and also what we do is in a box we put banana leaves, or we wrap them with the banana leaves, which gives them keep them in a good condition at least for 1 or 2 days. Yeah. So after that, if it reaches the Dimapur and if we have to send it to Delhi and all, we can send it in a cold chain. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Question: when should the putty seal be removed?
No, you don't have to remove the putty seal. It will just remain with the lock.
Yes, sir. Can we have one more? What is the incubation temperature for shiitake mushroom? What is the growing environment for this mushroom? If you want to grow it in a room condition, what is the humidity?
Humidity is always should be 75, 80 plus. It's better for them. And when it comes to the temperature, below 30 temperature, the mycelium will still run good. But the fruiting will happen only when it is 20 plus minus 2 degrees, 3 degrees Celsius, and humidity is 85, 90 above.
More question. Best type of wood for the purpose, and will it be porous one or hard or medium type?
Can you please repeat the question again?
So the best type of wood for cultivation of shiitake mushroom, will it be porous one or hard or medium type? The type of wood.
You see, the type of wood which is of oak and chestnut, I recommend that. I mean the hardwood, softwood, but those kind of, and the skin should also be a little bit thick to contain the moisture, you know. So those are important features.
Yes, sir. One question: can we use like clean vaccine carrier boxes for transportation of spawn in order to avoid contamination?
Yeah, definitely you can use that. But when you are purchasing the spawn at a huge quantity, it is difficult to carry the vaccine box. So what I recommend is, and what from my experience is, if you use the thermocol box, like how the mainland, from mainland India, the fishes are brought to Nagaland, isn't it, in ice? Likewise, we can use those 20 kg thermocol box. There you can put some ice, wrap or ice. Even if it is not ice, you can use those cool bag. And then you can put the spawn, seal it, and then it will remain good for at least 4 days. So 4 days is sufficient enough to reach any place. So whenever I go to Burma border, when I was working with ICR to, you know, vaccinate the animals, mithun and all, I have collected more than 150 wild mithun, you know, that jungle mithun blood from jugular vein, you know, from the jungle for my PhD thesis. So for collecting that, it took me 3 years to collect all the samples. So I used to carry in those like big thermocol box, all the blood, you know, vials, vacutainer tubes and all with ice pack. It remains good for, you know, 3-4 days. And after that, if I do the, you know, this lymphocyte culture, or if I have to isolate the DNA and all, it remains good. Yeah. So for spawn, it should not be a problem.
We have one last question. Can you suggest how to prepare shiitake tea or coffee?
Okay. Shitake tea and coffee, I have never tried, but it's a good, I mean, see, Shiitake tea, my father, he tried, you know what he used to do? The dried shiitake, which you get in market, you will soak that in water, warm water, and it will swell up. You have to take out the mushroom. You can make a curry in half, but the water which will become like a coffee color, that has observed, you know, so many nutrients from the mushroom. So that one you can use as a shiitake coffee or shiitake, you know, tea, you know. Yeah, that's a good, I mean, no waste. you can't even waste water, where the shiitake mushroom is soaked. So it's a good idea. I really appreciate the person who asked that. Yeah.
I think there are still lots of questions, and I think the time is also running out. So what we can do is, so I can compile all the question and send it to you, and you
Yeah,
can
sure. You can give.
yeah.
You can give the number, my number, phone number, where
Yes, sir.
my WhatsApp is there, or my email ID to all the participants.
Yes, sir.
To all the participants and their friends or families who wants to do mushroom business, production business, I will definitely help you. You know, if you can come and work with us, like one of us, you know, there is no charges. But for me, I'm being a private enterprise. I cannot afford to give you daily allowance or traveling allowance like government do. But definitely, I will provide you tea and free training, you know, and then you can learn and you can go back if you want to start off your venture. If you are around Dimapur, I will come and visit you and I will guide you from start till the market. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So before we sign off, I would request our project assistant, Dr. Senti, to say the final word.
Sir, yeah. I'm Dr. Santi, Project Assistant STINER. Actually, our ma'am, Professor Akali, she had to leave for some other work, a meeting. So yeah, I'll be taking this, I'll be giving this concluding remark. Yeah, so thank you so much, sir, for your time and for sharing with us your valuable knowledge. You know, it was indeed one of the best practical sessions that we have had. And, you know, you have covered almost all the aspects from production to nutritional benefits and even the economics and the market. Everything was, so beautifully covered. Thank you so much. And I'm sure the participants are also highly benefited, as we could see the inbox was flooding with, questions and positive feedbacks about this program. So thank you so much, sir, and thank you all the participants. And yes, like our ma'am, she has already mentioned, said about our center. Like one of our main is also to reach out to the farmers and aspiring entrepreneurs and help them, and by bringing in new technologies. So maybe we can also plan and work together in future, so for the welfare of our own people. So yeah, that was in fact a very mm, interesting and beneficial session for all of us. Thank you so much, and yes, we look forward to have more of such programs even in the days to come. So yeah, with that, thank you everyone, and have a good day.